Hey everybody, Mac here. I know I've been gone for a while, but what I have for you today is worth the wait. This is the final piece of our Walmart exclusive Lanyard Xenomorph collection, the Deluxe Alien Queen Giant Posable Action Creature. Look at this thing. It's huge. It's fantastic. You can see right here, internal jaw hissing attack. So this one does have the internal jaw, unlike the smaller figures. Action posable alien queen. Up here it says, try me, push head for action, which the crown does move and things do happen, and we'll take a look at that once she's out of the box. Now in the background here, we have a nice little hive diorama that unfortunately I feel like I'm going to have to destroy to get her out of the box. This little thing right here is just a cardboard cutout. This isn't a pack-in, this isn't a piece like we got with the drone where we had the egg, but that is a nice replica of it. Like I said, it's unfortunate that we may have to destroy this to get it out of the box, because this actually would be cool for displaying purposes. But what we do have down the side is that continued comic book Dark Horse style artwork for the Xenomorph on the side. Let's turn her around. More stuff down the side here. And on the back, we just have action shots of our queen. And you can see that secondary jaw right there. Just some posing shots. Nothing too dynamic, but 12-inch action posable. We'll see how tall she actually is once we get her out. So, this is the final piece. We've looked at the drone, we've looked at the runner, we've looked at the warrior. Now we have the queen. If more is coming out down the line, that's probably going to be determined by how good this collection does. Considering the aliens and the predators are sold out almost every time I go to Walmart, I think it's doing pretty good. So, without further ado, let's get the queen out of her box, and we'll take a look at the Lanyard Deluxe Alien Queen. Alright friends, here she is, the Lanyard Alien Queen out of the box, and the first thing I have to say is she is a beast, no pun intended. If you take a look at her from the side profile, you can see just how chunky, how big this thing actually is. She has a lot of weight to her, she has a lot of mass to her. So the first thing we're going to do is see if she holds up to that 12-inch claim. We'll put the tape measure to her, and we can see that at the top of her crown, she is at about, she is at the 12-inch mark. So she is 12 inches, 1 foot tall. From head to tail, we have, let's see, head, let's go to the front of her fingers on her chest claws. About, I'd say about 14 and a half inches from head to tail, 12 inches tall. She's a big lady, this queen. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, and I don't know why they did this. Well, I think I know why they did this, but the color. Let's talk about the color first. I'm not a fan of this red. I do appreciate that it is a darker red. It's more like a crimson than a bright red. I kind of feel like that with this line, Lanyard was going for the old Kenner-style alien figures, and they came in a variety of different colors. I'm pretty sure Kenner is what started the whole multicolor alien fascination with the alien toys, just to make them appealing so that you're not buying the same color every time. I get that. I appreciate that. And I understand that this in black may not be eye-catching. It may not pop. It may not look attractive to collectors and kids. But I feel like they could have come up with something better than red. Like, the metallic blue that the warrior was would have been a perfect color for her, or even maybe a dark metallic green. I don't hate the red, I just don't think it was the best choice. Having said that though, I'm not disappointed with the color. The dark coloring on her looks good. The red does look good. I just would have liked something a little bit darker, a little bit more alien, if you will. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at the articulation on her. It's not nearly as good as the 7-inch figures, which we'll see in a second. But we do have a head swivel that can do a full 360. It doesn't really go up and down, but we'll play around with that in a second once we get past the rest of the articulation. The arms do come out to the side, only about that far. She can't get any higher because of these shoulder pieces here. They are slightly ratcheted, and they have a full 360 motion. Swivels at the elbows, single jointed elbow with not a whole lot of travel, but how much do you really need with her? Let's get these out of the way. Her chest, hands, claws. There's no swivel in the wrist here, but they do pivot all the way around, and they do have some up and down motion. The elbows don't move. This is all basically one molded piece, but this is a very soft, gummy rubber, so that it's not stiff and they're not going to break if she gets dropped on her chest. Just like her hands here, this swivel at the elbow is it. There's no wrist twist or pivot, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked to have seen at least some articulation in the wrists. The hips are not on a ball joint. They're on a pivot. They go that far back. They go that far forward, which can help with some posing. Knees are locked into position. Oh, and there's no waist twist. Knees are locked into position, but there is the ankles pivot around, and there's some rock to the ankles too, forward and back, and a little bit side to side. The tail was some assembly required. That I don't know if you saw when she was in the box, but the tail was disconnected, and you have to pop the tail in. I'm sorry, I keep bumping the camera. I have to reach far to get my hands on her. But once the tail is in, it doesn't come out. It locks into place. But it does swivel, so you can get... Oh, I didn't even notice that. There's a secondary swivel to the tail. So there is a little bit more articulation to the tail than with the 7-inch figures. Huh. I didn't notice that when I popped that on. She has a secondary pivot point for the tail. So that's cool. But that is it for the articulation of our queen. Now the articulation is not great, but you can get some decent shots out of her. You can get some decent poses out of her. The only thing that she needs to be is big and imposing, especially next to her alien subject, her xenomorph subjects, and also when she's standing next to, you know, a predator. Alright, so now that that's done, let's take a look at our queen's crown here. And before we do anything else, let's just take a minute and appreciate the sculpt that went into all of this. Look at the detail on her front jaws here, the golden teeth here. Turn her over. Just look at the sculpt, the detail work of her crown. This could have just been one smooth piece, but they really went to some extra effort to put some molding, some really nice molding in here, which the figures, the alien figures, the xenomorphs and the predators, I told you, Walmart exclusive, $10. The queen here is also a Walmart exclusive. She's $20. So you're getting like 3 times the size of the figure for double the money. I really feel like the queen is worth the money, especially if you're already going to have the Lanyard alien line to begin with. Now, on the box, you saw Try Me, she makes sounds. So first of all, we put our finger here on the crown, tilt her head back. Is that coming through? Can you hear that? Can you hear how awesome that sounds? That is a great, great sound effect for the queen. And I don't know if you noticed, but when you tilt it back, you can see that red light flashing in there. Now, if you think that's all there is to it, if we drop her jaw, because her jaw is articulated, and you can see that secondary jaw in there, now with her jaw dropped, and we push back on the crown. And that is cool. That is really cool. That is something like what I was talking about that I would have liked to have seen on the 7-inch figures, but then also, like I said when I took that back, that if it would have been on the 7-inch figures, it would have been something that could have been broken. I feel like with the queen here being more robust, being bigger, being more solid than the 7-inch figures, that this just fits. This works. I love this. I love the sound she makes. I love the look of her with the jaw coming out. I think that is fantastic. Okay, now that we've taken a look at that, if we turn her around and we take a look at her back here, and normally I don't really focus on the back of a figure that much, but I really want to look at this. Because as you can see, she has all of this detail here, working down the spine, down to her tail. She has these back pipes here that I really have no idea what function they serve. On the xenomorphs themselves, they look like pipes. On her, they look like spikes, and they have this little bit of crustaceous plates in here. One thing, just like with her front claws, these are very rubbery, so they're not going to snap, they're not going to break. They don't articulate, they don't pose, but they do have give to them. So if she falls on her back, or if somehow these get bumped, they're not going to break. But you can see the detail work going down her tail here. Like I said, the tail is popped in, and we have 2 points of rotation for the tail, as you saw I found out earlier. I just really like the look of her all over. They did a great job, a great attention to detail everywhere on the sculpt of this figure. Front, back, legs, whatever. She's just really, really well done. So much to the point that because of how good she looks, you can forgive the lack of articulation to this figure. Like I said, the Alien Queen, like the Lanyard Alien line itself and the Predators, is a Walmart exclusive. She's on the shelf. There tends to be more of her than there are the figures, mainly because I think once you buy a Queen, a kid, a collector, a parent will spend the money and buy one Queen, but then the aliens, the Xenomorphs themselves, the Runner, the Warrior, the Drone, end up getting picked up because I don't doubt that those are being army built, especially for $10. So the Queen is on the shelf right now at Walmart. She's definitely worth the money. She's definitely worth it to add to your Alien collection. So that is all we have right now for the Alien series, unless Lanyard hopefully, and I'm really hoping that they do, brings out more for the Alien line. There is so much more that they could bring out for this. Different types of xenomorphs, different colored xenomorphs. Just look at what Mega Constructs did with the Alien line, how they're bringing out those eggs every year, and we're getting like 6 aliens per year that are basically all the same mold, but they're just different colors, and we're still swiping those up. So imagine what Lanyard could do with this line. So until we get more, and until we come back to this, and until we get more Predators, play well, my friends. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.